This is question 20 of the first logical reasoning section of prep test 157 over at lawhub.lsac.org, section 2. And we begin with our highlight tool selected with one of the colors, doesn't really matter which one, and we engage the question stem first. The argument is most vulnerable to criticism on which one of the following grounds. So we're just going to highlight most vulnerable to criticism and know that this is going to be an identify a flaw question task. So we were going to read the paragraph, then we were going to highlight whatever the conclusion is of the paragraph to focus on the relevant information and hopefully be able to come up with at least a broad prediction of what the flaw might be before engaging the answer choices. We begin from the top. The olecranon process is a bony part of the mammalian elbow. The shorter the olecranon process, the faster the forelimbs can typically be moved. Predatory mammals must move their forelimbs very quickly when attacking prey, and thus generally have short olecranon processes. It has recently been found that the extinct mammal Megatherium had a short olecranon process. Hence, in all probability, Megatherium was a predator. Now, you want to consider the information in the paragraph and see why there might be a flaw without drawing out actual conditional logic using the scratch paper, as we know that's just inefficient. So we're going to just go through the facts now that we know we're trying to say that Megatherium was probably a predator because it had a short olecranon process. And it says that predatory mammals must move their forelimbs very quickly when attacking prey and thus have generally short olecranon processes. So it's saying that a predatory mammal generally has a short olecranon process. That doesn't mean that mammals with a short olecranon process have to be predators. So this is ultimately an improper reversal of some conditional logic. And we want to have that in mind as we move to the answer choices, hopefully finding something that basically is dealing with the fact that we're taking a necessary condition and turning it into a sufficient condition in this conclusion. So moving to choice A, it fails to address the possibility that most mammals with short olecranon processes have not been predators. Yeah, that's it, right? Like it could have been that a short olecranon process is part of a predatory mammal, but you could also have a short olecranon process that is not from a predatory mammal. So you can see again the value of not doing this conditionally, because ultimately, even though you might have recognized the conditions, this isn't written in conditional statements. So avoid wasting time, just focus on the details and the conclusion directly in the interface, and you might get to correct answer choice A pretty quickly. Then choice B, it takes for granted that the only reason predators need to move their forelimbs quickly. Well, no, it's not about the only reason. It just says they must move their forelimbs very quickly when attacking prey, but maybe there's other reasons. Maybe they fly. I have no idea. So we can eliminate choice B for that reason. Then choice C, it overlooks the possibility that Megatherium could have been a successful predator. It's a successful predator. I don't know. I've got a new term. As soon as I've got A, I can move more quickly through these answer choices. Let's eliminate C because we just need additional information to determine what a successful predator even would be. Then choice D, it takes for granted that on average, the olecranon processes of extinct mammals were no shorter than those of living mammals. Well, we're not concerned with living mammals necessarily. I mean, it does say predatory mammals, but it doesn't even distinguish whether it's living, extinct, or whatever. So we can eliminate choice D again as needing additional information to say that this is definitely a flaw with the argument as presented. And lastly, choice E, it fails to address the possibility that longer olecranon process may confer some other advantage, such as greater strength. I love this kind of answer choice because you're just like, okay, some other advantage with just an example. That narrows it down. None. This could not be much more vague if it tried. And you can see that without diagramming this conditionally, you could still get to the correct answer of the flaw, identifying the flaw of question 20 correctly as choice A.